everybody, and welcome back to One Off Saturdays. This is a rare event where it's going to be a second part to a video that we put out last week. We are still reading My Immortal. Originally, the plan was we were just going to do 10 chapters a week, and that'd be it to sort of preserve our sanity. But as time has gone on, we've realized maybe that's not the best idea, so today we're just going to knock it out, chapters 11 to 44, and that's it. Then next week we will be doing something completely different for One Off Saturdays. My name is Paint, hello, and joining me today is...
My name is Ink, hi there.
And as with last time, I will be doing the majority of the character voices, except for Enobi, Ebony, whatever her name is. It changes a lot, actually, because the person reading the chapter does Ebony. I will be doing all the other voices. God save my throat. We are also switching off between chapters. Ink here is taking the even chapters, and I am taking the odd chapters. So, without many further ado, Ink, would you like to start us off?
I'm doing odd chapters?
Yes.
Okay.
We're starting...
You said it the other way around.
Did I?
I think so. That or I can't listen. But yeah, I'll
Ink's
start off.
taking odd chapters, I'm taking even chapters, and this is chapter 11. Let's go.
Chapter 11. Author's note. I said stop flaming up preps. If this chapter is sroopid. Or see if this chapter is sroopid. 1111. It deals with really serious issues. Special SPC for yourself. If it's stupid, BRW. Thanks to my friend Raven for helping me.
Translator's note. Author's note. I said, stop flaming, you preps. See if this chapter is stupid. It deals with really serious issues. See for yourself if it is stupid. By the way, thanks to my friend Raven for helping me.
Thank you, Paint.
Yes, I will be also providing the translations of the author's notes. Sorry.
No! I screamed. I was horrified. Bloody Mary tried to comfort me, but I told her fuck off and ran to my room crying myself. Dumbledore chased after me shouting, but he had to stop when I went into my room because he would look like a perv that way. Anyway, I started crying tears of blood, and then I slit both of my wrists. They got all over my clothes, so I took them off and jumped into the bath angrily while I put on a Linkin Park song at full volume. I grabbed a stake and almost stuck it into my heart to commit suicide. I was so fucking depressed. I got out of the bathtub and put on a black low-cut dress with lace all over it sandily. I put on black high heels with pink metal stuff on the ends and 6 pairs of skull earrings. I couldn't fucking believe it. Then I looked out the window and screamed. Snap was spying on me, and he was taking a videotape of me. And Lupin was masticating to it. They were sitting on their broomsticks. Ew, you fucking pervs! Stop looking at me naked! Are you pedos or what? I screamed, putting on a black towel with a picture of Marilyn Manson on it. Suddenly, Vampire ran in.
Abracadabra!
He yelled at Snape and Lupin, pointing his womb. I took my gun and shot Snape and Lupin a gazillion times, and they both started screaming and the camera broke. Suddenly, Dumbledore ran in.
Ebony, it has been revealed that someone... No!
He shouted, looking at Snape and Lupin, and then he waved his wand, and suddenly... Hagrid ran outside on his broom and said, everyone, we need to talk. What do you know, Hagrid? You're just a little Hogwarts student.
I may be a Hogwarts student,
Hagrid paused angrily.
but I am also a Satanist! This cannot be.
Snap said in a crisp voice as blood dripped from his hand where Dumbledore's wand had shot him.
There must be other factors.
You don't have any, I yelled in madly. Lupin held up the camera triumphantly.
The lens may be ruined, but the tape is still there.
I felt faint, more than I normally do, like how it feels when you do not drink enough blood.
Why are you doing this?
Lupin said angrily while he rubbed his dirty hands on his cloak. And then I heard the words that I had heard before, but not from him. I did not know whether to feel shocked and happy or to bite him and drink his blood because I felt faint.
Because! Because!
Hargid said, and he paused in the air dramatically, waving his wand in the air. Then swooped he in, singing to the tune of the gothic version of a song by 50 Cent.
Because you're gothic?
Snap asked in a little afraid voice. Because he was afraid, it meant he was connected with Satan.
Because I love her!
Doesn't that hurt?
A little bit, yes, actually. Should we discuss all the things wrong with the chapter, or should we just, skip it and let it slide?
No, we should absolutely discuss everything wrong with the chapter.
Okay, back up to the top of the chapter because it starts really fucking soon.
It does. They waste no time.
Yeah. She is in Slytherin, correct?
Yes.
The house in Hogwarts known for ambition, drive, being something of a dick every now and again, but that's not everyone. And
because everyone else is busy being gothic.
Because everyone else is being gothic. But it's also characterized by being one of the only houses whose dormitories and house, areas are underground.
Very, very underground.
So, to say that she looked out the window, 1, where is the window? 2, Snap and Lupin were spying on her and taking a picture while masticating and sitting on their broomsticks. This implies that this is up in the air, which doesn't make sense, which we just went over. But the more important part here, other than Lupin being misspelled in a glorious way, is the word masticating. To masticate is to chew, like to chew on something. I believe she meant here masturbate, which is self-pleasuring.
But no. We have chewing.
But no, we have chewing. I guess he's...
It's because he's a dog.
He's No, he's a werewolf. Sirius is a dog.
Yes, I know.
Oh.
It's a dog thing, chewing on stuff.
Third point, abracadabra. The actual term for the death spell, which for some reason Vampire here is using, is Avada Kedavra, not abracadabra. Abra is a Pokemon.
And a magic word.
And a magic
not
word.
Not the right magic word.
Not the right magic word. He's also pointing his womb. I didn't know that a vampire had a sex change.
He transitioned early in life.
Apparently. Thirdly, she still has her gun that she got from Voldemort. You know?
Floaty-mort.
But it also apparently has enough bullets in it to shoot Snap and Lupin a gazillion times.
It's a magic gun, okay?
Magic gun.
It has infinite bullets.
I can accept that, considering she got it from a dark wizard. Fourthly, Hagrid is not a Hogwarts student. He was expelled in his 3rd year, and he is somewhere in his... I would say early 30s, late 20s, early 30s. Right about there, right?
I have no idea.
I don't quite know how old Harry's father and mother would have been, but he was in the same year as them, presumably. Because he was in the same... He was a year younger than Voldemort. Sorry, Tom Riddle, spoiler.
So probably be in his late 30s.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Because
Late 30s.
Harry would be 16, 17 here.
That's right, late 30s. So either he was held back a lot, or this little bit of canon was just completely ignored.
He
Thirdly,
was let back into the classes.
yeah, um, Hagrid is also canonically afraid of heights. He doesn't like brooms. He doesn't like to fly. That's a little known fact.
I
Um,
didn't even know that.
yeah, he says it in one of the books where he says he doesn't feel comfortable on a broom because he thinks that the broom will snap underneath him, which is, all things considered, a fair point. He is very large. Um, After he says that he's a Hogwarts student, Snap is dripping blood from his hand where Dumbledore's wand had shot him. That doesn't make sense because he didn't shoot them. He just waved his wand and didn't do anything. Fifthly, triumphantly.
As typos go, that's pretty glorious.
I like it. I like to think of it as a very happy elephant. Um, Sixthly, why is Hagrid singing to a gothic version of a song sung by 50 Cent, a rapper?
He probably thought it was romantic.
I guess. Seventhly,
We don't know which song it might be fitting.
yeah. Seventhly, and this one should have come before this one. Hagrid, as part of being expelled, does not have a wand. It was snapped in several places, so he couldn't use it. So he can't have waved his wand in the air.
He turned it into his umbrella, didn't he?
Yes, he put the pieces in his umbrella, and it's technically illegal.
Yes. So he's waving his umbrella around,
Yes.
which makes this even better.
Yes. Also, the point of because I love her. Why?
What are we discussing here? He just runs in.
I mean, he's part of her band, and that's it. Like, that is the only other time we've seen him so far. There's no connection there. There's no big you-know-what. There's no nothing that's indicated that he has any kind of love or connection to her like she's been doing with Vampire.
Yeah, but in this chapter specifically, they're dealing with Ebony being spied on by teachers, and then Hagrid just runs in here, and there's no topic being discussed.
I'd also like to point out that we start the chapter in the bathroom. Like, she goes to the bathroom to take a bath, and that's how Snape and Lupin saw her naked and were taking a video of her, which does bring up the question of how did they know that she was getting naked, but more importantly, how did they all run outside from the bathroom?
How do we know they're outside?
Because it says...
Are they?
It says up here,
Hagrid ran outside.
Ran outside on his broom and said, "Everyone, we need to talk," which implies that everybody else followed him. Otherwise, how would they have heard him say that?
True, but Ebony's still indoors.
How do we know that?
Because it never says she leaves.
Good point. So either she has the ability of telekinesis, as put by Voldemort. I'm not letting that go.
Don't ever.
Or something. I don't know. But let's move on to chapter 12.
Wait, can I point out my favorite thing?
Oh yes, please go ahead.
So she says, "I got out of the bathtub and put on all this great clothing." And then she looks out the window and sees Snape and Lupin masticating to the video. And then she wraps a towel around her clothed body.
I didn't know that. I didn't notice that. I was so distracted by the abracadabra and the mastication. And, like, it was nicely sandwiched between two implausible things right there. So it was, like, slipped under my radar. I love that you noticed that, and I didn't. Thank you.
Alright, now we can carry on.
Chapter 12. Author's Note. Stop F. Aing. Okay. Hargrid is a pedo too. A lot of people in American schools are like that. I wanted to address that issue. How do you know Snap Eant Christian? Plus, Hargrid isn't really in love with Ebony. That was Cedric, okay?
You know what? I feel like we should put these author's notes into one of those, uh, like the Google Voice thing that a computerized voice reads it back to you. I just think that would be hilarious.
Yeah, could you go grab chapter 13's and put it into the Google Translate? Because it will say what you've put in if you press a little.
Sure.
Yeah. We'll do that next chapter. To translate, stop flaming, okay? Hagrid is a pedophile too. A lot of people in American schools are like that, and I wanted to address the issue. How do you know Snape isn't Christian? Plus, Hagrid isn't really in love with Ebony. That was Cedric, okay? I don't want to point out the issue here before we get to the end of the chapter because it does help keep things concise so we don't take up so much time breaking the flow of the chapter, but I will be going back to that. I was about to slit my wrists again with the silver knife that Drago had given me in case anything happened to him. He had told me to use it valiantly against an enemy, but I knew that we must both go together. No! I thought it was hair, Grid, but it was vampire. He started to scream, OMFG! No! My scar hurts! And then his eyes rolled up. You could only see his red whites. I stopped. How did you know? I saw it, and my scar turned back into a lightning bolt. No! I ran up closer. I thought you didn't have a scar anymore, I shouted. I do, but Diabolo changed it into a pentagram for me, and I always cover it up with foundation, he said back. Anyway, my scar hurt and it turned back into the lightning bolt. Save me! Then I had a vision of what was happening to Draco. Voldemort has him bondage. Anyway, I was in the school nurse's office now, recovering from my slit wrists. Snap and Lupin and Hagrid were there too. They were going to St. Mingo's after they recovered, because they were pedophiles, and you can't have those fucking pervs teaching in a school with lots of hot girls. Dumbledore had constipated the studio camera they took of me naked. I put up my middle finger at them. Anyway, Hargrid came into my hospital bed holding a bouquet of pink roses. Ebony! Sorry. Enobi, I need to tell you something, he said in a serious voice, giving me the roses. Fuck off, I told him. You know, I fucking hate the color pink anyway, and I don't like fucking fucked up preps like you, I snapped. Hargrid had been mean to me before getting gothic. No, Enobi, Hargrid says. Those are not roses! What, are they goths too, you poser prep? I asked, 'cause I was angry that he had brought me pink roses. I saved your life, he yelled angrily. No, you didn't, I replied. You saved me from getting a Paris Hilton pee video made from your shower scene and being wooed by Snap and Lupin, who masturbated. See, is dat spelled wrong? To it he added silently. Whatever, I yelled angrily. He pointed his wand at the pink roses. These aren't roses! He suddenly looked at them with an evil look in his eye and muttered, Well, if you wanted honesty, that's all you had to say! That's not a spell, that's an MCR song, I corrected him wisely. I know! I was just warming up my vocal cords! Oh man, this is gonna hurt. Then he screamed, Patulus morango me crem illis cremisli crem cremically. Let me try that one again. Patulus morango me cremically romacio. For all you cool Gothic MCR fans out there, that is a tribute, especially for Raven. I love you, girl. Emo noto okeo! And then the roses turned into a huge black flame floating in the middle of the air. And it was black. Now I knew he wasn't a prep. Okay, I believe you. Now what the fuck is Draco? Hairgrid rolled his eyes. I looked into the balls of flame, but I could see nothing. You see, Enobi, Dumbledore said, watching the two of us watching the flame. To see what is in the flims. Flimes? Ha ha, you're viewers! Flames! Get it? You must find yourself first, okay? I have found myself, okay? You mean old man! Hairgrid yelled. Dumbledore looked shocked. I guess he didn't have a headache, or else he would have said something back. Hairgrid stormed back off into his bed. You are a liar, Professor Dumbledore! Anyway, when I got better, I went upstairs and put on a black leather mini dress that was all ripped on the ends with lace on it. There was some corset stuff on the front. Then, I put on black fishnets and black high-heeled boots with pictures of Billy Joe Armstrong on them. I put my hair out all around me, so I looked like Samara from The Ring. If you don't know who she is, you're a prep, so fuck off. I put on blood red lipstick, black eyeliner, and black lip gloss. You look kawaii, girl, Bloody Mary said sadly. Thanks. Get it? You do too, I said sadly, but I was still upset. I slit both of my wrists, feeling totally depressed, and sucked all the blood. I cried again in my bathroom and put the shades on so Snap and Lupin couldn't spy on me this time. I went to some classes. Vampire was in the hair of magical magic creatures. He looked all depressed because Draco had disappeared, and he had used to be in love with Draco. He was sucking some blood from a Hufflepuff. Hi, he said in a depressed way. Hi back, I said in a Waqali sad way. We both looked at each other for some time. Harry had beautiful gothic red eyes, so much like Draco's. Then, we jumped on each other and started screwing each other. Stop it now, you horny simpletons! Shouted Professor McGoggle, who was watching us, and so was everyone else. Vampire, you fucker, I said, slapping him. Stop trying to screw me! You know I love Draco! I shouted, and then I ran away angrily. Then he started to scream. OMFG! No! My scar hurts! And then his eyes rolled up. You could only see his red lights. No! I ran up closer. I thought you didn't have a scar anymore, I shouted. I do, but Diabolo changed it into a pentagram for me, and I always cover it up with foundation, he said back. Anyway, my scar hurt, and then I had a vision of what was happening to Draco. Voldemort has him bondage! Special thanks to Raven, my Gothic's blood sister. What the fuck? You're supposed to writ this. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Hey Raven, do you know where my sweater I don't know. Oh man, that hurts. Okay, so some of the problems of chapter 12. We're going to ignore the spelling in the author's notes because it's too easy. It says here that Hagrid wasn't in love with Ebony, and that was Cedric. Who is Cedric? In terms of this fan fiction, we haven't seen anyone named Cedric yet. Firstly, in the chapter itself, where did she get the silver knife? Like, has that been on her this whole time?
Yes.
When did Draco give it to her? Because she's just been narrating endlessly, day after day after day. We've never seen him give that to her. I mean, it's possible that he gave it to her before the fix started, but I doubt that. Um,
Because they never officially hooked up in
no, they might have been friends or
canon.
housemates, but um, dude, this character isn't canon.
Cedric?
Oh, Cedric is canon. Um,
Or yeah, Ebony's not.
Ebony is not canon. Um, we see this whole section of Voldemort has him in bondage, and you could only see his red whites twice. Like
At least.
a Groundhog Day loop does start happening within the next few chapters, and oh my god, is it painful? But
Extremely so.
extremely so. But this is the first time we see the doubling. Red whites is not a term. The term she is looking for is sclera, the white part of the eye. And if your eyes are rolling up that badly, what she's seeing is his sclera and his optic nerve. So
Sounds painful.
it probably is very painful. Um, First of all, if you change a scar into a pentagram, you're just changing its shape. You're not actually turning it into anything else. And why would it turn back into the lightning bolt shape? And while you can feasibly cover up a scar with foundation, I mean, why? Why would you do that if you've changed the shape to a pentagram?
To something he would want on his face.
Like normal skin?
Maybe
Like,
he liked it at first and it became too much of a conversation piece.
yeah, maybe.
Can't be the center of attention.
Yeah. Now, she's in the hospital wing for her slit wrists. We'll come back to this later. But she is in the nurse's office, which, by the way, is normally called the infirmary because this is a boarding school. It's not necessarily an office as it is like its own wing, and that is called an infirmary, not a nurse's office. So we'll go back to the slit wrist thing later. Snape and Lupin and Hagrid are all there, and all of them are going to St. Mango's. The,
Mango.
the normal term for the wizarding hospital is St. Mungo's. So we're just going to let this one slide, but she continuously refers to it as St. Mango's. And please keep in mind that after they recover, they were going to go somewhere else because you can't have those kinds of people teaching in a school with lots of students. I'm not going to address the fact that she's only addressed hot girls. Dumbledore had constipated the Sidio camera.
He stuck it up his ass.
I believe the term she's looking for is confiscated. Hagrid came into her hospital bed, as in, like, my mental image is that he's like phased intangibly into the mattress itself, and he's just kind of standing next to her.
I I prefer the idea that he is crawled into bed and they're spooning now.
That is another option. We also have a moment of Department of Redundancy department with the roses turning into a huge black flame floating in the middle of the air, and it was black.
It's a black flame floating in the black air. It's black, in case you missed that part.
Yep. There's a bit of irony here up in who masturbated, see is that spelled wrong, because yes, that is in fact spelled incorrectly. Let's see. For some reason, Dumbledore reverts to leet speak, texting speak, where everything has like been trimmed down to the most logical extreme that you can get away with.
It's step one in his conversion to a cool guy.
I guess.
Gotta first understand how the kids talk to each other.
Yeah. And he is actually UC Inabi. He is addressing her, not Hagrid. though Hagrid is the one that reacts with anger and storms off. She has absolutely no reaction whatsoever to it.
Her reaction is to get dressed.
Her
It's
reaction
the
is
only
to
reaction she ever has.
her reaction is to put on more clothing because now
It's how she copes.
she's wearing two sets of clothing, and in between those two sets of clothing she's wearing a towel. I also did a little bit of like looking in last night so I could understand looked like Samara. Samara is that little girl from the well, and she's got all
Yeah,
that stringy hair and all that stuff.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's her. So she's trying to
Great.
so she's trying to look like she crawled out of a well.
I, that's my aesthetic, to be honest.
Yeah,
Perfectly. That's
yeah.
exactly what I strive to look like every day.
The next chapter, we haven't gotten to it yet, is filled with gratuitous Japanese, if you can call it that. The first instance we see of it is kawaii. The word she was looking for is kawaii, which is spelled with two I's, not just one. The word kawaii is literally, there's no word, that isn't a word.
It is not.
It is not a word. However, there is a similar word, kowai, which means scary.
Yes.
So she's either going for cute or scary. And knowing this author, it could have been either. So we're just going to split the difference and say it's all wrong entirely. If
It's just probably one of those things that lends people to think this is somebody trolling hard because it's
yes,
a perfect like portmanteau or pun or
setup,
whatever you want to call it.
yeah.
Halfway between both.
She did get out of the hospital ring for slitting her wrists, but now she's done it again. Shouldn't they have her on some form of suicide watch or something?
Probably, but this is Hogwarts.
And nobody gives a shit unless your name is Harry fucking Potter. Um,
Yeah,
if you drink your own blood, that doesn't put the blood back into your bloodstream. That means you're digesting it now. And
it
that's
is destroyed.
it is destroyed and you can't use it. In fact, if you drink your blood repeatedly and like really quickly over the course of, you know, like let's if you eat your own blood, you run the risk of making yourself sick and anemic
Hmm.
because you're not meant to eat blood. You're not.
But she's also a vampire
She
who
is,
is meant to eat blood.
but probably not her own blood.
But she's also technically undead because she is a vampire. So does she need blood? Does she have running blood?
That is another question. Her heart should have technically stopped. So, does she have blood? Obviously, yes. Is it running blood? Probably not. Is it dead blood? Most likely. Like, she slits her wrists and then just kind of eats what's there. I guess.
Yeah. It doesn't like run out or go. It just is kind of there.
Yeah.
She's licking at it sadly.
Yeah. Which brings to mind the mental image of a sad, bedraggled cat.
Yes.
Um,
A sad bat.
yeah. She also went to some classes. She doesn't say they were her classes. She's just like, I'm gonna go to classes.
There she
Conveniently,
go.
the one with vampire in it. By the way, the hair of magic creatures is not a class taught at Hogwarts.
Professor
Professor
McGoggle's not a teacher.
Professor McGoggle is not a teacher. I believe this is a misspelling of Professor McGonagall, who doesn't
I'm sure it
teach
is.
that particular class anyway. The class she's referring to is the care of magical creatures, which is taught by Hagrid. But because he's a student,
She
he's
had
now
to make an OC to teach the class.
either that or she brought in Professor McGonagall, who is now double timing as a transfiguration teacher and a care of magical creatures teacher, which doesn't make sense. But I guess it does. Um,
It's like public schools where all teachers have to do two things. That's why your math teacher is also your baseball coach.
yeah. In my case, it was the football coach was also the driver's ed coach teacher. That wasn't fun.
Oh, I bet not.
So why would you jump on each other and start screwing each other mutually, by the way,
There was
in
consent here.
in the same
Suggested.
suggested yes, and both parties are, liable to it and responsible to it. One did not like coerce or provoke the other. Why would you do it in class? Like, I knew a lot of horny young gentlemen back in high school. None of them decided that, okay, it's perfectly acceptable to take off my trousers and start Frenching the cheerleader sitting next to me in the middle of English. You
I mean, they
still,
didn't want to.
yeah. I mean, they probably did want to, but that doesn't mean that you've lost all forms of social restraint and responsibility. However, once Professor McGoggle has stopped them, and no, Ebony acts as if Vampire has coerced her or convinced her to do it, and that she's not complicit in responsibility for it because she loved Draco, referring to him as if he's dead.
And we have one account that says he is, and one account that says he is not.
Yeah, because you cannot commit suicide and then have that same character in Voldemort's Bondage. And then this is also the second time we see the Red Whites. Voldemort has him in bondage. Blah 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 blah.
Right.
And then down here, hey Raven, do you know where my sweater eye? That just randomly cuts off. I think she meant to put that in Skype or something, and it just kind of snuck in. That's my theory.
I mean, they're writing this in a Skype conversation.
That would actually explain a lot.
Or maybe emails, given the time this was written.
Emails, yeah. Skype was not as reliable back then. Like, it existed, but it was not reliable.
It's still not.
It's still not, but it's better than it was back then.
True.
So this is chapter 13. Your go. Did you find the, did you get the...
I did.
Can
we'll
you...
see if you can hear it.
Can you play it?
I can play it. I'm gonna play it off my tablet because you're not picking up my desktop audio.
No, I am not.
So here we go.
Chapter
13. Author's note via text-to-speech converter.
Raven thanks for gelpin me agent M sorry ATOKR postar of Gerard but that guy is such a fucking sex bomb. EREPZ stop FLAMIGNG.
It didn't even try a lot of those words.
Yeah, it just kind of gave up. But it did get picked up, so we're gonna use it.
Good.
I'm not gonna bother translating that because that's pretty easy. It's basically she's saying thank you for helping, and she's apologizing for stealing a poster that belongs to Raven.
Yep. This is where the drama begins.
And all the pain starts.
And the pain starts. Alright. Chapter 13. Vampire and I ran up the stairs looking for Dumbledore. We were so scared. Is that scared or scarred? I can't tell anymore.
It's scared.
Okay. Dumbledore!
Dumbledore!
Dumbledore! We both yelled. Dumbledore came there.
What is it that you want now, you despicable snobs?
He asked angrily. It's exactly how you speak to students.
Yeah.
Voldemort has Draco! We shouted at the same time. He laughed in an evil voice. No, don't!
We need to save Draco!
We begged.
No.
He said meanly.
I don't give a darn what Voldemort does to Draco. Not after how much he misbehaved in school, especially with you, Ebony.
He said while he frowned, looking at me.
Besides, I never liked him that much anyway.
Then he walked away. Vampire started crying.
My Draco!
He moaned. Author's note. Don't you fake gay guys are like so hot? They switch between gay and bi a lot.
Yeah, they are not interchangeable. They are not interchangeable. Oh, shoot. Okay, continue.
Okay. It's okay, I tried to tell him, but that didn't stop him, sorry. He started to cry tears of blood. Then he had a brainstorm.
I had an idea!
He exclaimed. What? I asked him.
You'll see.
He said. He took out his wand and did a spell. Then, suddenly, we were in Voldemort's lair. We ran in with our wands out, just as we heard a croon voice say.
Ala Kedavra!
It was Voldemort.
There's actually not a whole lot wrong here.
I mean, Alacadabra.
Well, yeah, we're going to ignore that one.
Croon voice.
Croon voice. Do you want to load up for Chapter 14's author's note while I kind of
Sure.
start going over what is and isn't wrong here?
Absolutely.
So this is actually where we start to see Raven and Tara, the writer, start to have a bit of a falling out. Most likely because Tara stole her poster, and this kind of has a negative effect on the fic itself later on. At least that's what we think. Other than the obvious misspellings, why is Dumbledore being such a goddamn asshole? He is a goddamn asshole in canon because he likes to keep things from Harry that are, potentially crucial to life and death decisions that Harry has to make later, but he generally does things because he, has a good intention behind it. With this, he's just kind of a dick to be a dick. Secondly, if you start to cry tears of blood, you should go see a doctor. That's not normal. Like at all.
But vampire is also a vampire.
Does that mean
And
he cries tears of blood? I don't think
Ebony does it.
I don't think that's part of traditional vampire lore. Then again, before Dracula came around, like the concept of Dracula, who was based off of Vladimir the Impaler, vampires were completely different in terms of their mythology. They were still creatures that kind of like came in the night, but what they did kind of varies between cultures. My favorite happens to be the South American interpretation, where they would come to your farm and steal and consume manure. Yeah. They also kind of like traditionally were small and gangly, kind of like Gollum from The Lord of the Rings. Are you still kind of stuck on the fact that they ate manure, or?
Little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Chapter 14, Author's Note, as interpreted by a text-to-speech program.
Here we go.
Fuck off PREPZOK. Raven Fangs for helpin' agent. I'm sorry AKUDNT update but IWUZ derperesdn I had to go to da hospital cause I slid MUH wrists. PS I'm not updating till UGIV me 10 God revoice. Warning. Some of this CHAPTA is XTREMLY spray. BIOWER excretion ADVISD.
She kind of gave up for half of that.
She didn't even try.
She's like, no.
Here's how you spell this word, and here's how this spelled word.
Yep. This is
I'm surprised at some of the ones she did attempt.
like revows and
Depursed.
And Agon. Is Agon a word, or is she just like guessing?
I think some of its programming probably allows for sounding out words, but
Yeah,
it's
not
not
a whole
that
lot.
good. AIs haven't come that far yet.
No, they have not. So, Chapter 14. We ran to where Voldemort was. It turns out that Voldemort wasn't there. Instead, the fat guy who killed Cedric was. Draco was there, crying tears of blood. Snaketail was torturing him. Vampire and I ran in front of Snaketail. Rid my sight, you despicable preps! He shouted as we started shooting him with the gun. He then suddenly looked at me, and he fell down with a lovey-dovey look in his eyes. Ebony, I love you, will you have sex with me? He said. In this, he is 16 years old, so he's not a pedophile, okay? Huh? I asked. Anobi, I love you. Will you have sex with me? Asked Snaketail. I started laughing crudely. What the fuck? You torture my BF, and then you expect me to fuck you? God, you are so fucked up. You fucking bastard, I said angrily. Then I stabbed him in the heart. Blood poured out of it like a fountain. No! Blah! He screamed. He started screaming and running around. Then he fell down and died. I burst into tears sadly. Snaketail, what art thou doing? Called Voldemort. Then he started coming. We could hear his high heels clacking to us. So we got on our broomsticks and we flew to Hogwarts. We went to my room. Vampire went away. There, I started crying. What's wrong, honey? Asked Draco, taking off his clothes so that we could screw. He had a sex pack. Get it? 'Cause he's so sexy. And a really huge you-know-what and everything. It's so unfair, I yielded. Why can't I be ugly or plain like all the other girls and preps here, except for Bloody Mary, 'cause she's not ugly or anything? Why would you want to be ugly? I don't like preps anyway. They are such fucking sluts, answered Draco.
We're not generalizing or anything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but everyone is in love with me. Like, Snape and Lupin took a video of me naked. Hagrid said he's in love with me. Vampire likes me, and now even Snaketail is in love with me. I just want to be with you, okay, Draco? Why couldn't Satan have made me less beautiful? I shouted angrily. Author's note. Don't worry, Anobi isn't a slob or anything, but a lot of people have told her she's pretty. I'm good at too many things. Why can't I just be normal? It's a fucking curse! I shouted, then I ran away. Reviewing some of the weird things happening here. We ran to where Voldemort was, but it turned out he wasn't there.
How did you know where he was if he wasn't there?
I guess. Also, who is the fat guy who killed Cedric? Who is Cedric? We still haven't seen any sign of Cedric.
Well, this is a different Cedric.
Yeah, different Cedric. The other Spelldrick was spelled with an S. This one is spelled with a C. Who is Snaketail?
I think Snaketail's the fat guy that killed Cedric.
That's Wormtail.
I think Snaketail's supposed to be Wormtail.
Yeah.
Or just another OC because she didn't read the books.
Yeah.
Maybe just watch the movies on fast forward.
Yeah. Why did you start to shoot him with no effect? Like, he shouted
She
as
ran
we
out of infinite bullets.
I don't think so. That's kind of a paradox that you just said there.
Are you questioning my logic after reading this?
Fair enough. He's not hurt or anything, so either they missed a lot or he just didn't care. He's suddenly in love with her for reasons not explained. Also, he was a friend of the Marauders, if he is Wormtail. So he is not, in fact, 16 years old. But even though she says in this he is 16 years old, why is he a follower of Voldemort if that is the case? And secondly, Ebony said up in chapter 1 that she was 17 and in the 7th year. If Wormtail, Snaketail, whatever his name is 16, I'm fairly sure she just committed homicide of somebody who is relatively innocent. And all he really wanted to do was have sex with Anobi, and Draco, and tortured Draco a bit. And she retaliated by stabbing him in the heart with some unexplained weapon.
Could be the gun, could be her wand, could be the silver knife that Draco gave her that she keeps on her person.
Could be her fucking nails, who knows? But then he gets...
Maybe it's the high heel boots with the metal stuff on the ends.
Maybe. And he starts to run around and scream. Then he fell down and died. Normally, I mean, you do bleed out really fast, and I I mean, he could have started to run around and scream, but that would have like made him die
Just
faster.
gonna exacerbate the problem.
Yeah. Um. So in the last chapter, they got there by some unnamed, unexplained spell that Harry Vampire did. So how did they have their broomsticks to fly away?
They pulled him out of Ebony's infinite space boots.
Apparently.
We don't know what she keeps in those other than other boots.
Yeah, other than more boots. Vampire just kind of walks away and she starts to cry. And instead of like trying honestly to comfort her and figure out what's wrong, Draco kind of gives a cursory "what's wrong, honey," and starts to take off his clothes so that they could screw.
He's got his priorities straight.
He's also got a really huge you-know-what.
I don't know what. Please explain that to me, author.
Yes, if you're going to go into detail about pedophilia and necrophilia, by the way, we'll get to that later, you should at least have the balls to say cock. Or dick.
Or penis, at the very least.
Or just penis. Because penis is not inherently a dirty word. It's just the actual technical term.
It's a body part.
For the male genitalia. Why is she saying, why can't I be ugly or plain like all the other girls? Except for Bloody Mary. What's so special about Bloody Mary?
She's really pretty.
Apparently.
She deserves to be really pretty.
And then this whole last thing at the end is basically
I think maybe she's saying that Bloody Mary is a prep.
Unlikely?
Says, why can't I just be ugly or plain like all the other girls and preps here except for Bloody Mary?
So she's either...
She's one of the other girls.
Yeah, she's probably one of the other girls, because she seems to vehemently hate any form of prep.
And she's just excluding her friend because she's friends.
That's the only friend she has. Pretty. That's the only friend she has, actually.
Is Raven gone already? Or Willow or whoever?
We haven't seen any sign of her, so...
Okay.
We're going to assume that either she's gone or she's going to be gone soon. And
then that is addressed later.
And then, right here at the end, this is just one big paragraph explaining why she is a Mary Sue. Because she hits all the standard markings for a Mary Sue. For those of you who do not know, a Mary Sue is a character who is perfect at everything and everybody loves her.
Good at all things.
Good at all things, under the most traditional of definitions of Mary Sue. There are other things like Peggy Sue, Gary Sue, the tragic Mary Sue, where things continuously bad things happen to them, but everybody still loves them anyway, even though they're constantly a downer.
Yes. Those are fun characters to read.
Yeah, they're perfectly fun.
Very believable.
Very believable. You go through chapter 15. I've drank a little too much water.
Okay.
I will be right back.
Should I wait for you?
No, just keep on going.
Okay.
I will be right back.
Chapter 15.
Stop flaming okay. BTW you suck from no on ever item someone flams me am gonna slit muh wrists. Thanks to Raven 4HL pain.
Good try there, text-to-speech lady. Ebony! Ebony! Shouted Draco sad. No, please come back! But I was too mad. Whatever. Now you can go and have sex with Vampire, I shouted. I stormed into my room, which I was already in, and closed my black door with my blood-red key. It had a picture of Marilyn Manson on it. He looked so sexy in a way that reminded me of Draco and Vampire. I started to cry and weep. I took a razor and started to slit my wrists again. I drank the blood, all depressed. Then I looked at my black GC watch and noticed it was time to go to biology class. I put on a short, ripped black gothic dress that said anarchy on the front in blood-red letters and was all ripped in a spiky belt. Under that, I put on ripped black fishnets and boots that said, Joel all over them in blood red letters. I put my ebony black hair out. It was on fire. Anyway, I went downstairs feeling all sad and depressed as usual. I did some advanced biology work. I was turning a bloody pentagram into a black guitar. Suddenly, the guitar turned to Draco. Enobi, I love you, he shouted sadly. I do not care what those fucker preps and posers think. You're the most beautiful girl in the world. Before I met you, I used to want to commit suicide all the time. Now I just want to fucking be with you. I fucking love you. Then he started to sing The Chronicles of Life and Death. We considered it our song now because we fell in love when Joel was singing it. Right in front of the entire class. His singing voice was so amazing and gothic and sexy, like a cross between Gerard, Joel, Chester, Pierre, and Marilyn Manson. Author's note: don't you think those guys are so hot? If you do not know who they are, get the fuck out of her. OMFG, I said after he was finished. Some fucking prep started at us, but I just stuck up my middle fingers, that were covered in black nail polish and were entwined with Dracos now, at them. I love you, I said, and then we started to kiss, just like Hilary Duff. I fucking hate that bitch. And CMM in a Cinderella story. Then we went away holding hands. Lupin shouted at us, but he stopped because everyone was clapping by how sexy we looked together. Then I saw a poster saying that MCR would have a concert in Hogsmeade right then. We looked at each other all shocked, and then we went together.
Hello, I'm back.
Hello. I don't do voices as well as you do,
That's okay.
but I tried.
So did you do the text to speech thing for the author's note?
I did.
Wonderful.
It was an attempt.
It was an attempt.
I think the highlight was HL pain instead of helping or lemon, as I would have said.
Yeah, that sums it up. HL pain. So to recap all the things that are wrong, she was in the last chapter. They went to her room, as
Yes.
in, we got on our broomsticks and flew to Hogwarts. We went to my room, and
All three of us.
all three of them, and then Vampire went away. In this chapter, she storms out because she was mad, and she storms into her room.
Indeed.
So she just either left and turned a circle and came back and shoved him out, or
That's logical.
some
She just took him to the door, pushed him out, and went back in.
yeah. Normally, student dormitories are group rooms. You have a number of other students of the same gender in the same room. It is not your room. It is not your black door with your key. I don't think there are actually strictly keys in Hogwarts
probably
for
just
that.
spells and
Yeah.
trapdoors with paintings guarding them.
Marilyn Manson is on a lot of her shit. Keys,
Yes.
towels, boots. I think at one point she said she has a Marilyn Manson boots or shirts, whatever. I don't.
Her roommate, that occasionally exists as a roommate, has a Marilyn Manson that I think she uses as jammies, if I recall,
Yeah.
for sleeping in their coffins.
Yeah. She also continuously slits at her wrists, and we discussed last chapter why that's bad. She goes to biology class, which isn't taught at Hogwarts, for one. And for two, the art of turning one thing into another thing is not biology, that's transfiguration.
Especially guitar.
Especially guitars. You can turn one inanimate object into a living creature or a creature into an inanimate object, but it's usually
something
done
like a pentagram, which you would have to draw on a desk and is fairly intangible.
And normally the creature in question is not sentient. It's usually an animal. ravens to goblets, turtles into tea kettles, stuff like that. Um,
Yeah.
the only thing that I could think of that would require a bloody pentagram would be some sort of runic or ritual based thing. Runes is in a class taught at Hogwarts, but I don't think they would teach anything to do with pentagrams. Um, and the grammar here in the next sentence after turned into a black guitar um, either implies that the guitar turned into Draco, or the guitar is suddenly sentient enough to acknowledge Draco in the room.
It just turns slowly toward Draco, who is in the class with her.
And it doesn't actually say she's in a classroom. She's just
No, she went to biology.
downstairs. No, she said, I looked at my black GC watch and noticed it was time to go to biology class. Anyway, I went downstairs feeling all sad and depressed as usual.
And then later it mentions the rest of the class.
Does it?
Which you
oh,
missed
yes,
out on.
Yes, it does. I am so sorry. You are correct, and I am not. So
right in front of the entire class.
Right in front of the entire class, he starts to sing, and his voice sounds like a cross between Gerard, Joel, and Marilyn Manson. Those three we can recognize because they've been referenced to in the chapter. It's in the fic itself. However, I don't know who Chester or Pierre are. The only Pierre I know of is in Stardew Valley, which she isn't referring to whatsoever because Stardew Valley came out in 2016 and this came out in the early 2000s. And I don't know of any Chesters either. The only Chester I know of is my Pokemon Chester the Chespin, which again came out either 2016 or 2015. No, sorry, 2015 is when Chespins became a thing. No, wait, no. 2014 is
looking around on the internet, and I found Chester Charles Bennington, who was a singer for Linkin Park. So I'm thinking likely it's that Chester.
Okay, so there's that. But who the hell is Pierre?
Let's see.
And if and this is just the last little bits of this chapter that I don't like that I'll just address while you're looking that up is
a simple plan. Possibly.
Simple plan.
Pierre, I don't speak French, and I'm not going to try and butcher that on public live play radio. Live
video.
Video.
This is a video.
Simple Plan and Linkin Park, very likely.
Okay, so they are actual people. She's just never made mention of them, so I was very confused.
It's the context you're supposed to bring with you.
Yeah. And she's now putting up her middle fingers at preps, other students, and they've already addressed that the whole class is staring at them anyway, so how did she know which were the preps and which weren't, for one? And for two...
Everyone who's not her and her boyfriend or her friends are preps.
Clearly. And her fingers, her entire fingers, are covered in black nail polish. That's
just the middle fingers.
And only the middle fingers. So, one, why would you paint your entire finger? That's a waste of nail polish. And two, how can you entwine them with somebody else's and then stick them up as somebody else at the same time? That's not quite how that works. And if you dislike Hilary Duff so much, why would you reference her? You would normally not reference her. And then finally, Lupin is teaching this class. However, wasn't he taken to St. Mango's 2 chapters ago?
Yes.
So what is he doing here, and why is he still teaching? We will never know.
Because we're overlooking that part.
We are overlooking that part. And then, sorry, now this is the lastly. If you see a poster, where are you seeing it, for one? And in two, why would My Chemical Romance have a concert in Hogsmeade In the middle of the day, presumably. In the middle of a school day. Right next to a school.
Not right next to it, but within walking distance. Or
Yeah, I would consider that.
Vestral different distance.
I would call that right next to the school. Wouldn't you?
Close enough.
Close enough. Anyway, so they essentially skipped school to go to this concert now.
An American Muggle band
Yeah.
playing in England for Hogwarts.
Hogwarts isn't.
Presumably the Hogwarts.
That's another thing. That's another thing. She says Hogwarts is in England. However, Hogwarts itself is in Scotland.
Is that canon, or
That
that's
is
just the
canon.
castle they used?
That is canon. That is canon. Hogwarts. The castle they used in the movies was CGI, dear.
Like, even sets? Did they do any locations filming?
They probably did some on location filming, but I'm pretty sure that
Because
most
Hagrid's
of it.
hut had to be outdoors. They didn't just invent a field and a house.
I'm fairly sure that they did some scenes on location, but I'm pretty sure that most of the time it was sets in CGI.
True. I'm thinking specifically of the scene where Hermione decks Draco in the face.
Oh yes,
That
was
had to be
glorious.
somewhere real.
Yeah. So we're going to skip all that and just go on to chapter 16. Do you have the author's note ready?
You bet.
Sweet. Author's
Prepare
note.
yourself. Here we go. Here we go. Play.
You know what? SUT up okay. Prove to me you're not creep. Raven you suck you fucking bitch gimme back ma fucking steeder SUPSD2 Riddis. Raven WTF you bitcher supo SD to Dottis. BTW thanks to Brittany 5655 for tagging MUH.
She didn't even try to say Japanese.
She gave up.
She gave up. She's
She
like,
gave up.
no.
I'm
No.
surprised at how quickly she got through that and how like she did try for some of them. Like she said
Yes.
preeps.
She said preep, I think.
Oh my god.
No Z.
No Z.
Like, fuck that.
And then she said fajit swatit. I'm so proud of our little text to speech thing that we're torturing. Anyway.
So I wonder if in these author notes, when it says writ, if that's supposed to be right. Because that's the second time she says you're supposed to write this.
She is actually saying you're supposed to write this. I thought you caught that.
I figure that's what it means, but we keep saying writ.
Well, I thought we were just intentionally mispronouncing.
Yes, but, you know,
Yeah.
it's one of the homophones.
Okay, and here we start the epic Groundhog Day loops. Fucking hell. We ran happily to Hogsmeade. There we saw a stage where GC had played. We ran in happily. MCR were there playing Helena. I was so fucking happy. Gerard looked even sexier than he did in the pictures. Even Draco thought so. I could totally see him getting an erection. But it didn't matter, 'cause I knew now that we were the only true ones for each other. I was wearing a black leather mini dress and black leather platinum boots with red ribbed fishnets. Draco was wearing a baggy black MCR t-shirt and black baggy pants. Anyway, we stated moshing to Helena. We Frenched. We ran up to the front of the band and began the band to stage jive. Suddenly, Gerard pulled off his mask. So did the others. We gasped. It wasn't them at all. It was Volsimort and the Death Dealers. What the fuck? Draco, I'm not going to a concert with you, I shouted angrily. Not after what happened to me the last time. Even if it's
already there.
Even if it's MCR and you know how much I lick them. What? 'Cause we, he gadgeted uncomfortably. 'Cause guys don't like to talk about you know what. Yeah, 'cause I yielded in an angry voice. We won't do that again, Draco promised. This time, we're going with an escort. OMFG, what the fuck? Are you giving in to the mainstream? I asked. So I guess you're a A prep or a Christina or what now? No, he muttered loudly. Are you becoming a prep or what? I shooted angrily. And no, be I'm not. Please come with me. He fell down to his knees and started singing The World is Black by Good Charlotte to me. I was flattened because that's not even a single. He had memorized the lyrics just for me. Okay, then I guess I will have to, I said, and then we Frenched for a while, and I went up to my room. Bloody Mary was standing there. Hachimashite girl, she said happily. She speaks Japanese, so do I. That means, how do you do in Japanese? BTW Willow, that fucking poser, got expelled. She failed all her classes and she skipped math. Author's note. Raven, you fucking suck! Fuck you! It serves that fucking bitch right. I laughed angrily. Well, anyway, we were feeling all depressed. We watched some gothic movies like Das Nightmare before Xmas. Maybe Willow will die too, I said. Kawaii. Bloody Mare shook her head energetically, lethargically. Oh, yeah. Oh, have a confession. After she got expelled, I murdered her, and then Lupin did it with her 'cause he's a necrophiliac. Kawaii, I commented happily. We talked to each other in silence for the rest of the movie. Oh, hey, BTW, I'm going to a concert with Draco tonight in Hogsmeade with MCR, I said. I need to wear, like, the hottest outfit ever. Bloody Mary nodded energetic. Ali! Oh, MFG, totally. Let's go shopping. In Hot Topic, right? I asked, already getting out my special Hot Topic
Don't hurt yourself.
loyalty card. No. My head snaped up. What? My head spewing. I could not believe it. Bloody Mary, are you a prep? No, no, she laughed. I found some cool gothic stores near Hogwarts, that's all. Who told you about them? I asked. Sure, it would be Draco or Diabolo or Vampire. Don't even say that nom to me. Or me. Dumbledore, she said. Let me just call her Brahms. OMFFG, Dumbledore? I asked quietly. Yeah, I saw the net for Hogsmeade on his desk. Come on, let's go. We were going to a few punk goth stores specially for the concerts in Hogsmeade. The salesperson was OMG hotter than Gerard, except not, 'cause that's impossible. And he gave me a few dresses. We only have these for the real goths. The real goths? Me and Bloody Mary asked. Yeah, you wouldn't believe how many posers there are in this town. Town man, yesterday, Lupin and Snap tried to buy a gothic camera pouch. He shook his head. I didn't even know they had a camera. OMFG, now they're gonna spy on me again! I cried, running out of the changing room, wearing a long black dress with lots of red tulle coming out, and a very low cut with a huge slit. Oh my Satan, you have to buy that outfit, the salesperson said. Yeah, it looks totally hot, said Bloody Mary. You know what? I'm gonna give it to you for free because you look really hot in that outfit. Hey, you gonna be at the concert tonight? Yeah, I am, actually. I looked back at him. Hey, BTW, my name is Abandi Darkness Dementia Tara Way. What's yours? Tom Ridd, he said and ran a hand through his dyed black hair. Maybe I'll see you there tonight. Yeah, I don't think so, 'cause I'm going there with my BF Draco, you sick perv, I yelled angrily. But before he could beg me to go with him, Hairgrid threw in on his black broom and looking worried. OMFG, Bondi! You need to get back into the castle now!
I can't tell if you cut out if you just there.
I started coughing a little bit. I'm okay. So going over the things really quickly because I really don't want to take too long with this, longer than is strictly necessary. And we're already at an hour and 14. Hoo boy.
So maybe just do half of what's left and do one more with the other half.
What's
See, 11 through 40, so it's like
44?
Go through 44.
So that's
Go
22.
through 33? 20, 28? I
20,
can't math.
22. I think. Let's just go with
44
33.
minus 11.
Let's go with. Let's just go with 33.
16 and a half chapters would be halfway.
Yeah, 16 and a half. So let's just go up to 33. I don't know how much that is.
27 would be where
Okay.
we would stop.
Okay.
27 or 28.
Let's go to 28, because I really want to get this done with. So, if we ignore this whole chapter at the beginning where they go to the concert, the rest of this makes a lot more sense. Sort of. Like they're really they're really happy to go at the last chapter, but now she's really upset and she doesn't want to because she doesn't want sex again. Somehow.
I mean, good for her standing up for what she wants. She's learned to recognize.
Yeah.
It's not what I desire right now.
However, for the most part, I think a lot of men out there don't like to talk about you know what, as in sex, because
They just want it to happen.
I'm fairly
talking about sex is awkward.
I'm fairly sure they like to talk about it with other men, but not with other girls, I guess.
Probably, yeah. From what I read on the internet.
From what I read on the internet.
I've had coworkers that are very happy to talk about sex with me, but
that's different.
I think that's different because that might be flirting
or a work
and
thing.
it's incredibly awkward.
Yeah. For some reason, anytime anybody says something that's out of what Ebony expects, like Draco saying that they're going with an escort, and Bloody Mary suggesting that they go to a store that isn't Hot Topic, she accuses them of being a prep, which is very unusual to me because it's like I don't immediately have that jerk response to my friend offering that we go someplace new. I might not enjoy whatever we do, and I'll be like, okay, let's not do that again, but I don't immediately jump to them going, you're a fucking prep! Or something like that. And her reaction is both out there and unnecessary.
Yeah.
I've also noticed that if anybody sings a good Charlotte in MCR, a Linkin Park, a My Chemical Romance in MCR are the same damn thing. Marilyn Manson, any kind of dark-ish or depressing-ish song, she'll just do what they say.
It's hypnotic.
Either
it's
that
devil's music, remember?
Either that or she's just really dumb.
She's really easy.
Yeah.
It's just serenade her. It's romantic, right?
I guess. And then we get to Bloody Mary saying Japanese things. Hajime Mashite is a Japanese word, and very technical. Hajime mashite. I'm sorry, I've gotten used to pronouncing it syllable by syllable and not all together, which is why I say some things weird. I also don't speak it very well, unfortunately. I know enough to, get by, but I'm not very conversational.
You have an anime education.
No, I've actually I've taken a few online lessons, but that's not the same as actually getting lessons. But while technically speaking this does mean how do you do, it's also something you say to somebody you haven't met, or somebody you don't know very well. Bloody Mary has been stated as Ebony's best friend. So why would you say that to somebody who is quote unquote your best friend? Logic says you wouldn't. I don't go up to you and say, hey, how do you do? Normally I just start out with hi. Or how
just launch into whatever's exciting right now.
Or launch into whatever's exciting right now. Not that I've actually ever walked up to you. You live in a completely different state than I do.
I do. It's sad.
Fun fact, all three of the females on this channel who regularly run it, myself, Nocturna, and Ink, are in different states from each other. I'm not
That we are.
I'm not afraid to say I live in Utah, and I don't know if Noct is okay with us saying what state she's in. And I don't know if you want to say which state you're in, but I live in Utah, and
Okay.
these two don't.
I'm in Iowa, honestly.
Yeah, she's in Iowa. I'm in Utah. Noct is in her own state, which is further south than either of us. Um, and I would like to point out that she's very fair-weather friendish outside of the fic too, because of her Raven, you fucking suck, fuck you, having an impact on Willow, which is Raven's character. As in, she was expelled, failed all her classes, skipped math,
Murdered. And
murdered,
raped.
murdered, and then her body was defiled. I don't think it's rape after the person is dead. I think it's defiling a body.
I don't know.
I'm going to skip over this because it's actually kind of uncomfortable.
Do you not want me to text to speech it?
Um, no, I meant I'm going to skip over the necrophilia thing.
Oh, okay. I'm following along totally.
Yeah. So the salesperson Tom Ridd is very unusual for more than the fact that he's obviously Tom Riddle, which obviously it means he's Voldemort. He has a weird reaction to her. Like, he gives her a few dresses with the understanding that they are for her, they are gifts because they are only for real goths, and apparently she and Bloody Mary are real goths. And then he goes into gossip, which like kind of ties in with him, hiding who he is, I guess. And then he says, "Oh my Satan, you have to buy that outfit." Didn't he just give it to her?
Yes.
And then, contradicting what he immediately just said, he says, "You know what, I'm just gonna give it to you. The thing I already gave to you." And then he gives her a couple compliments. Now, complimenting doesn't implicitly mean that he wants to ask her out, but she reacts as if he's like fallen to his knees and begged her to go with him.
Which she totally would.
Mm-hmm.
In this.
Mm-hmm. And then for some reason, Hagrid comes back and wrecks my throat one more time.
So why not? Fun times.
Yeah. So chapter 17, if you would please.
Author's note.
In ISCD stub flinked Austrio. If a prep NDNOT Reddit. You can tell beater a prep or not by ma quiz itz on ma homepage. If or not den you rogue. If you are den FOOOOOKUFFFFFFF. PZ Willow isn't rely a prep. Raven PLZ do diseal promise to GIVU backer postar.
Oh, the poor little thing.
Beat's trying to hold out the consonant.
That is true. Please, get us into the depressing.
All right. Tom Riddle gave us some clothes and stuff for free. He said he would help us with makeup if he wanted, because he was really into fashion and stuff. He's bisexual. Hargard kept shooting at us to come back to Hogwarts. WTF, Hargard? I shouted angrily. Fuck off, you fucking bastard. Well, anyway, Willow came. Hargard went away angrily.
Hey, bitch, you look kawaii.
She said. Yeah, but not as kawaii as you. I answered, sadly. Yeah, but not as kawaii as you. I answered sadly. Because Willow's really pretty and everything. She was wearing a short black corset thingy with blood red lace on it and black blood red miniskirt. Leather fishnets and black pointy boots that showed off how pale she was, because your boots really set off your face.
Mm-hmm.
She had a really nice body with big bobs and everything. She was thin enough to be anorexic.
So, are you going to the concert with Draco?
She asked. Yeah, I said happily.
I'm going with Diablo.
She answered happily. Well, anyway, Draco and Diablo came. They were both looking extremely hot and sexy, and you could tell that they thought we were hot too. Diablo was wearing a black t-shirt that said 666 on it. He was wearing tons off makeup, just like Marilyn Manson. Draco was wearing black leather pants, a gothic black GC t-shirt, and black Vans he got from DeWarped Tower. Bloody Mart was going to the concert with Dracula. No, it's Dracola. Dracola used to be called Navel, but it turned out that he was kidnapped at birth and his real family were vampires. They died in a car crash. Navel converted to Satanism and he went goth. He was in Slytherin now. He was wearing a black warped t-shirt, black jeans, and shoes, and black hair with the red streaks in it. We call him Dracula now. Well, anyway, we all went to Draco's black Mercy Benz, get it cause we're gupfic, that his dad Lucian gave him. We did pot, coke, and crack. Draco and I made out. We made fun of those stupid fucking preps. Soon we got there. I gasped. Gerard was the sexiest guy ever. He looked even sexier than he did in pics. He had long, raven black hair and piercing blue eyes. He was really skinny and he had an amazing ethnic voice. We moshed to Helena and some other odder songs. Suddenly, Gerard pulled of his mask. So did the other members. I gasped. It wasn't Gerard at all. It was an ugly, preppy man with no nose and red eyes. Everyone ran away but me and Draco. Draco and I came. It was Voldemort and the Death Dealers.
You moronic idiots!
He shooted angstily.
Enobi, I told you to kill vampire, but thou have failed. And now I shall kill thou and Draco.
No, no, please, we begged sadly, but he took out his knife. Suddenly, a gothic old man flew in on his broomstick. He had long black hair and a long black bread. He was wearing a black robe that said Avril Lavigne on the back. He shouted a spell, and Voldemort ran away. It was Dumbledore.
You know, if we keep addressing all the problems, I think we're just never going to finish.
We are never going to finish.
So, we're going to just start letting it slide. How's that sound?
Okay, but only if I can make comments while I'm reading.
Go ahead.
I like to mock.
Okay,
I like to mock.
Well, in that case, we'll mock a little bit, but we'll only mock all the big things, like, why the fuck
like
is...
how his Naval, his family is the undead, but they died in a car crash. Was that before or after they were vampires? It's my only concern here.
I'd like to point out that they gave him the exact same backstory as they gave to Bloody Mary.
Yes, they did.
Also, why is Bloody Mary going out with Dracula?
Dracola.
Also, Bloody Mart now sells Dracola now. It comes in several different flavors, including pot,
Blood.
pot,
Coke,
red,
and drugs.
pot, Coke, red, cola, blood, and new diet fat-free Dracola. Oh, I didn't make that joke funny at all.
I'm amused.
That's like the big thing in this. So let's just get on to chapter 18.
Alright, then we should probably read the author's notes ourselves.
Did you already have it loaded up?
No, I can't get my tablet to highlight the thing.
Okay.
Because it's stupid.
Okay.
Oh, sure, now it goes. But no, you read it.
Chapter 18. Author's note. I said stop flaming. If you do, then you're a fucking prep. Thanks to Raven for the help and stuff. You rock. And you're not a prep. Thanks for my suitor. P.S. The odor, as in Dumbledore swore, is 'cause he trinned to be gothic, so dur. I woke up the next day in my coffin. I walked out of it and put on some black eyeliner, black eyeshadow, blood bed lipstick, and a black, really low-cut leather dress that was all ribbed in stripes so that you could see my belly. I was wearing a skull belly ring with black and red diamonds inside it. The night before, Draco and I went back to the skull. Get it? Skull, 'cause I'm gothic and I like death. Dumbledore chased Voldemort away. We flew there on our brooms. Mine was black and the broom stuff was blood red. There was lace all over it. Draco had a black MCR boom. We went back to our rooms and we had you know what till a Linkin Park song. Well, anyway, I went down to the Great Hall. There, all the walls were painted black and the tables were black too, but you would see that there was pink pant underneath the black pant, and there were posters of poser bands everywhere, like Ashley Simpson and the Backstreet Boys. WTF, I shouted, going to sit next to Bloody Mary and Willow. Bloody Mary was wearing a black leather mini with a good Tralut t-shirt, black fishnets, and black pointy boots. Willow was wearing a long black gothic dress with blood red lining that was all lacy and came up to your thighs, and black boots and fishnets. Vampire, Dracula, and Draco came. We started to talk about who is sexier, Mikey or Gerard Way, or Billy Joe Armstrong. The boys joined in because they were bi. I thought they were gay. Those guys are so fucking hot, Navel was saying, as suddenly a gothic old man with black beard and everything came. He was the same one who had chased Voldemort away yesterday. He had normal tan skin, but he was wearing white foundation and he had dyed his hair black. Dumbledore? Won! We all gasped. What the fuck? I shouted angrily. I thought he was just wearing that to scare Voldemort. Hello, everyone, he said happily. As you can see, I've gave the room a makeover. What do you think about it? Everyone from the poser table in Gryffindor started to cheer. Well, we goths just looked at each other all disgusted and shook our heads. We couldn't believe what a poser he was. One. By the way, you can call me Albert. He called as we left to our classes. What a fucking poser. Sorry, what a fucking poser, Draco shouted angrily as we went to transformation. We were holding hands. Vampire looked really jealous. I could see him crying blood in a gothic way. Get it? Way, like Gerard. But I didn't say anything. I bet he's having a midlife crisis, Willow shouted. I was so fucking angry. I got through that pretty fast, actually.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Just every time she says that, every time the author says that so-and-so came, I'm always taking that in a sexual way, and I've started thinking there's like an orgy going on in the background in every scene.
And the floor
And
is...
it's just an update.
The floor is really slippery.
The floor is nasty right now.
Yeah. Squish, 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 squish.
Slides. We don't walk to class, we slide to class.
We sled to class. We have sleds for this shit now. Anyway.
Okay. Speaking of
It's
nuts.
not okay.
Chapter 19. I'm not okay, I promise. Is that an author's note or a chapter title?
I think that's a chapter title. And a confession. And a call for
And a
help.
confession. Author's note. Please stop flaming the story. If you do, a fucking prep and jealous, okay? From knock on, I'm going to delt men reviews. 111. BTW, Evonid, a poor blood, so dare. Fangs to Raven for him to help. All day, we sat angrily, thinking about Dumbledore. We were so fucking pissed off. Well, I had one thing to look forward to. To MCR concert. It had been postponed, so we could all go. Anyway, I went to the common room, sadly, to cut classes.
This is the third time they've gone to an MCR concert.
And when you cut classes, generally you go to a public area.
Technically speaking, the common room is a public area.
It is. I'm pretty sure all students are allowed in common room.
As long as they
As
are...
long as you're
Yeah, if you've been
accompanied by...
If you've been
a
invited in
student.
by a student of that house, then you may go in. But under normal circumstances, you do not.
Let's see.
Draco
was being all secretive. I asked what it was, and he got all mad at me. Started crying all... Earned sensitive bi guys so hot.
No
So maybe
one.
Draco is bi and Vampire is gay. Unless she keeps switching back and forth.
No, he went for her, remember? I think Vampire is bi, because he started to screw and kiss at Bondi.
Yeah. True.
No one fucking understands me!
He shouted
One.
angrily. He shouted angrily as his black hair went in his big blue eyes like Billy Joe in Boulevard of Borkin Dreams.
Bork.
He was
bork,
wearing...
Bork.
Bork.
Stop, son, you're doing me a frighten.
He was wearing black baggy paints, a black MCR t-shirt, and a black dye.
Oh, don't slander my name like this.
He's just wearing a black dye around his neck. He likes D&D, okay?
Yeah, but he's wearing... I mean, I never did that. It's not me. He's not wearing
Sure.
me. He's not wearing me.
Take cameos where you can.
No, not in this. Never in this.
Get it? Instead of Thai, because I'm gothic. Yes, we get it, Ibani. We understand.
Please, Inobi, cease with your puns.
They're not even puns anymore.
They're just references. They're really bad jokes.
They are really bad jokes. I was wearing a black leather low-cut top with chains all over it, a black leather mini, black high-held boots, and a cross-belly thing. My hair was all up in a messy, really high bun like Amy Lee in Gone Under. Email me if you want to see the pic. Accuse me? Accuse me? What about me? I growled.
But.
He grunted. You fucking bastard! I moaned.
No way! It's not what it fucking looks like. He says that a lot.
I don't even remember what we're talking about.
Him being sad that shit happens.
Okay. Well, he shouted that thing you just read for him. But it was too late. It was too late. I knew what I heard. I ran to the bathroom angrily. Cring. Draco banged on the door. I whipped and wept as my bloody eyeliner streamed down my cheeks and made cool tears down my feces like Benji in the video for Girls and Boys. Raven, that is so our video. I took out a cigarette, and started to smoke pot. Suddenly, Hargrid came. He had appurated, which is not allowed on school grounds, especially by students.
There's like a spell to prevent it in place, actually.
There is.
It's like a ward of some form.
Son, you gave me a fucking shock! I shouted angrily and dropping my pot.
I'm good. Please keep going.
Are you?
Yep.
I'm not okay, guys, I promise.
We're not okay.
We're not okay. WTF do you think you're doing in the girls' room? Only it wasn't just Hargrid. Someone else was with him too. For a second, I wanted it to be Tom Ridd, or maybe Draco. But it was Dumbledore.
Wait, wasn't she mad at Draco? Isn't that why she's in here?
Yeah, she's hoping he's gonna come after her in the girls' room.
Clearly. Hey! I need to ask you a question!
So not only does she... Hagrid coming into the girls' room, but also the headmaster of the stool. The stool.
Just give up. Give up.
I gave up a long time ago. He said, pulling out his black wannabe gothic purse.
What are you wearing to the concert?
You know who MCR are? I gasped.
No, I just saw there was a concert that a lot of goths and punks were going to.
He said.
Anyway, Draco has a surprise for you.
It's his dick. Probably.
Dick in a box. Dick in a box. I'm sorry. Chapter 20. Author's note. I said, do not occur what you think. Staff Paflamen. Okay, preps. 1. Thanks to Raven for the help. 1. Oh yeah, by the way, I'll be on vacation in Transylvania for the next 3 days, so do not expect updates.
I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there that I have this headcanon that there were no comments on any of the chapter.
Nope. Actually, I think there were
No
lots.
flames.
I think there were actually lots of flames.
I'm sure there were, but it's funnier if you think there aren't.
Yeah. All day I wondered what the surprise was. Meanwhile, I put on a black leather mini, a black corset with purple lace stuff all over it, and black gothic compact boots. MCR were going to do the concert again since Volximort had taken over the last one. I slit my wrists while I moshed to MCR in my bedroom all night, feeling excited. Suddenly, someone knocked on the door while I was trying on some black clothes and moshing to Fang You for the venom. I got all mad and turned it off, but I sacredly, I hoped, I hopped inside that it was Draco so we could do it again. What the fucking hell are you doing? I shouted angrily. It was Lupin! Are you gonna come rape me, or what? I yelled. I was allowed to say that, 'cause Dumbledore had told us all to be careful around him and Snap, since he was a pedo. No, actually, get it? Hell, can I please borrow some condoms? He growled angrily. Yeah, so you can fuck your 6-year-old girlfriend? Huh? I shouted sarcastically. Fooker, he said, gong away. Well, anyway, I put on some black eyeshadow, black eyeliner, and some black lipstick, and white foundation. Then I went. Then I gasped. Snake and Lupin were in the middle of the empty hall doing it, and Dobby was watching. 1. Oh my god, you ludicrous idiot! They both shouted angrily when they saw. Oh my god! I can't do them both at the same time because they're like on different ends of the spectrum, so I'm just gonna go with Snape. Oh my god, you ludicrous idiot! They both shouted angrily when they saw me. Dobby ran away crying. They got up though. Normally I would have been turned on. I love seeing guys do it. But both of them were fucking preps. BTW, Snake is moved to Gryffindor now. What the fuck? Is that why you wanted condoms? I asked sadistically. See, I spelled that. Only you wouldn't give them to me, Lumpkin shouted angrily. Well, you should have told me, I replied. You dimwit. Oh, sorry. You dimwit. Snake began to shoot angrily, and then I took out my black camera and took a pic of them. You could see that they were naked and everything. Well, excuse me, they both shouted angrily. What was Dad all about? It was to blackmail you, I snarked. So now the next time you see me doing it with my boyfriend, you can't fucking rat me out, or I'll show this to Dumbledore. Fuck off, you bastards. I started to run. They chased me, but I threw my wound at them and they tripped over it. Well, anyway, I went outside and there was Vampire, looking extremely fucking hot. What the fuck? Where'd Draco? I asked him. Oh, he's being a fucking bastard. He told me he wouldn't come. Oh, he's being a fucking bastard. He told me he wouldn't come. Vampire said, shaking his head. You want to come with me? To the concert? Then he showed me his flying car. I gasped. It was a black car. He said his dog father, Sirius Black, had given it to him. The license plate on the front said MCR 666 on it. The one on the back said Enobi on it. I gasped. We flew to the concert hall. MCR were there, playing. Vampire and I began to make out, moshing to the music. I gasped, looking at the band. I almost had an orgasm. Gerard was so fucking hot. He began to sing Helena, and his sexy, beautiful voice began to fill the hall. And then, somehow over the singing, I heard some crying. Some crying. I turned and saw Draco crying in a corner.
Where he belongs.
Apparently. Oh man, your turn.
Okay.
Like, you said you would.
There we go.
You said you would commentate, but you didn't. You didn't through that chapter.
I was on mute, actually.
Oh.
We missed out on some of it. Alright, chapter 21. Author's note. Fuck you, okay? You fucking suck. It's not my fault if it's spelled wrong, okay? Cause that bitch Ravern?
Cause
that big Ravern, cause it fuck you, preps. Because fuck you is why. Whoops, saws Raven Fangs to the help. Fangs words and numbers.
Business, business. Numbers. Is this working?
Whoops, saws Raven?
Would you like me to try this one?
Yeah. I'm struggling.
Author's note. Fuck you, okay? You fucking suck. It's not my fault if it's spelled wrong, okay? Cause that big ravern, cause it fuck you, preps. Whoops, saws Raven. Thanks for the help. BTW. Transylvania rocks rad. I even got to go to the castle where the cola was flimmed. Your turn.
Again with Dracola.
Dr. Cola, Dr. Cola,
Dr. Cola.
Get it at Bloody Mart? Yeah. Now in red.
I love you. Okay. Later, we all went in the skull.
Which one?
Whatever that means. Draco was crying into common room. I think it's supposed to be school.
Yeah.
Later, we all went into the skull.
Oh,
Draco
God.
was crying into common room. I don't know how to do a gothic voice, so we're just gonna go with
Draco,
the
are
usual.
you okay?
Draco, are you okay? I asked in a gothic voice.
No, I'm not, you fucking bitch!
He shouted angrily. Angrily. He stated to run out of the place in a suicidal way. I stated to cry, because I was afraid he would commit suicide.
It's okay, Adobe.
Said Vampire comfortably.
I'll make him feel better.
Oh, will you? You mean you'll go fuck him, won't you? Shouted angrily. Then I ran to get Draco. Vampire came too.
Draco, please come. He began to cry. Tears
He
of
began to cry. Tears of blood came down his pale face. I was so turned on because I love sensitive bi guys. If you're a homophobe, fuck off. I've got some news for you about your fanfic here. And then we heard some footsteps. Vampire got out his black invisibility coke. You gotta smoke it to make it work.
His black
You need to sniff it.
invincibility cloak.
Invincibility? Yes, you're right.
It's not invisible, it's just invincible.
It's invincible drugs. We both got under it. So they're high now.
Yup.
We saw the janitor, Mr. Norris, there, shouting angrily with a flashlight in his hand.
Who's there?
He shouted angrily. We saw filth come. He went under the invisibility cloak and started to meow loudly.
Is anyone there?
Yelled Mr. Norris. The cat and the janitor have switched names.
And genders. Oh wait, no.
Genders.
Sorry, yeah. Mr. Norris is usually Mrs. Norris, the cat. Filch, or in this case,
Filth.
Filth, is the male janitor. Or rather, he's like security, janitory, nobody likes him, blah 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 blah.
He probably does something helpful.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to clean an entire castle myself.
Yeah.
Anyone? No,
Oh, that's me. That's me.
Is anyone there? You nailed Mr. Norris.
No,
Vampire.
you fucky. No, fuck you, you preppy little poser son of a fucking bick.
Nothing says we're not here like answering your question. Vampire said under his breast in a disgusted way.
That's right. Just lift up your breast.
And climb underneath. It's because he's trans. And he's...
One more time. Excuse me! Excuse me! Who said that?
Yelled Mr. Norris. Then he heard Filch meow.
Filth! Is there anyone under the cloak?
He asked. Filth nodded. And then... Vampire Frenched me. He did it just as... Mr. Norris was taking of the cloak. One.
What the?
He yelled, but it was too late, 'cause now we were ruining away from him. And then we saw Draco crying and busted into tears. And bust into tears and slitting his wrists outside of the school. Draco! I cried. Are you okay?
I guess though.
I guess so. Draco wept. I can't with this.
I'll take
We
it.
went back to our
Okay.
coffins, Frenching each other. we started out chasing after our mutual friend crush ex, and
now we're all
started
Frenching.
making out on the way. And now we don't
Polyamory.
care about him.
Polyamory.
We all? Draco, Vampire, and Ebony are now Frenching on the way back to their coffins. Draco and I decided to watch Lake Placid. See, isn't the prison on the gothic red bed together? I thought you had a coffin. Must be somebody else's bed. As I was about to put in the video, my eyes rolled up and suddenly I had a vision of something that was happening now. There was a knock on the door and Fug and the mystery of magic walked into the school.
That chapter was painful in more ways than one.
Yes. So many ways.
Chapter 22. Author's note. STFU. Preps, stop blaming, okay? If you do not like it, then fuck off. I know it's Mr. Norris. It's Raven's fault, okay? 11. You suck. 1. No, just kidding, Raven. You fucking rock prep suck. 1. She flip-flops so quickly.
Are they okay or not? I can't tell.
No, they are not. All day, everyone talked about the misery of magic. Well, in this place... Well, anyway, I woke up the next day. I was in my coffin, so I opened the door. I was wearing black, lacy leather pajamas. Then I gasped. Standing in front of me were... B. Bloody Mary, Vampire, Diabolo, Draco, Dracola, and Willow. I opened my crimson eyes. Willow was wearing...
After she's seen all these people standing in front of her.
Yeah, Willow was wearing a tight black leather top with pictures of bloody roses all over it. Under that, she wore a black poofy skirt with lace on it and black gothic boots that was attached to the top. Vampire was wearing a blaggy simple plan t-shirt and baggy black pants and Vans. Draco was wearing a black MCR t-shirt and black jeans and a leather jacket. He looked just like E. Gerard Way, and almost as fucking sexy. Vampire looked like John Madden. Bloody Mary was wearing a tight, black, poofy gothic dress that she had ripped so it showed of her all her cleavage with a white apron that said "Bick" and other swear words and MCR lyrics on it, kind of like the one dress I had seen Amy Lee wear once. Darkness, who is Jenny,
Who is Jenny?
was there too. She was weaving a ripped gothic black dress with ripped stuff all over it and a lace-up top thing with black pointy boots. So were Crab and Goyle. It turns out that Darkness, Diabolo, Crab, and Goyle's dad was a vampire. He committed suicide by slitting his wrists with a razor. He had raped them and stuff before, too. I suddenly feel uncomfortable. They got so depressed that they became gothic and converted to Stanism.
I love Stanism.
Yep. OMFG! I yielded as I jumped up. Why the fuck are you all here? Anobi, something is really fucked up, Draco said. Oh, okay, but I need to put on my fucking clothes first, I shouted angrily. You already did! Oh, wait, no, you didn't.
She needs to put on more.
Actually, no, she didn't. She only has her PJs on. And every other thing underneath it. It's alright.
See?
Sorry. It's alright, we have to go now, and you look kawaii anyway. You're so fucking beautiful, Draco said in a sexy voice. Oh, alright, I said, smiling. But you have to tell me why you're being all erective. I will. So I just put on some black eyeliner, black lipstick, and red eyeshadow, and white foundation. Then I came.
Just real quick.
Then I went
That's
outside
important.
Then I went outside to the Great Hall and looked in from a window. A widow. A fucking prep called Brittany from Gryffindor was standing next to us. She was wearing a pink mini and a Hilary Duff t-shirt, so we put up our middle fingers at her.
What happened to the dress code?
Yeah, there's...
I know I'm asking this in chapter 24, but what happened to
No,
the
we're only
dress code?
We're on chapter 22, dear.
22.
Yeah, normally there is a very strict dress code of a dress shirt, robes, and some dress pants if you are a male, and a dress shirt and a skirt with robes if you are a female. Hats optional. But no, apparently we can wear pink minis with Hilary Duff t-shirts, so other students can put up their middle fingers at her.
Indeed.
Inside the Great Hall, we could see Dumbledore. Cornelia Fudged was there, shouting at Dumbledore. Doris Rumbridge was there, too. This cannot be! She shouted angrily. The school must be closed! The Bark Lord is planning to kill the students! Yelled Cornelia Fudge. You are not fit to be the principal any longer, yelled Rumbridge. You are too old and your Alzheimer's is dangerous. You must retry or Voldemort will kill your students.
Retry what?
I don't know. Very well, said Dumbledore angrily. But we cannot do this. We can't close the school. There is only one person who is capable of killing Voldemort, and she's in the school. And her name is... Inani Darkness Dementia Ravenway! That's not her name.
No, it isn't.
Draco...
But he tried, and that's better than I can do.
He got most of it right, actually.
He did.
The one thing he didn't get right was Ebony. Draco, Crab, Goyle, Darkness, Willow, Raven, Vampire, and Bloody Mary all looked at each other. I just gasped.
They looked at each other. No one's looking at me.
Yeah. Here we go.
Continue, dear.
Chapter 23 of My Immortal. We've only got 4 more chapters. We can do this.
And here starts the point that we have never read before.
Yeah, we haven't gone past chapter 23.
Alright. Chapter 23. Author's note. Da hut, da fuck up bitches. 1. Just jalos, cause I got 10,000 reviews. 1. Thanks to Raven for the help in telling me about the books. Girloo. Rock. Let's go shopping together.
Shopping.
Let's go shopping. Like preps.
To get her.
To get... No, there's an H.
Yeah, I said to get ha.
Okay. The door opened, and Professor Rumbridge and Cornelia Fudge stomped out angrily. Then Dumbledum. That's a new one.
I actually kind of like Dumbledore, and now it's Dumbledum.
Dumbledum and Rumbridge sawed us in half with a saw.
Mr. Way! What the beep are you doing?
Rumbridge shouted angrily. Dumbledore blared at her.
Hank! Oops! She made a mistake! He corrupted her. She means, hi, everybody, come in!
Well, we all came in angrily. So did all the other students.
Very slippery hallway. Would you like me to take over for a bit?
No, I can do it. She's got to stop saying that. I sat between Darkness and Draco and opposite Bloody Mary. Crab and Goyle started to make some morbid jokes. They both looked exactly like Ville Volo. I ate, the number 8, some Count Chocula and drank some blood from a cup. Finally, she finds blood from an alternate source.
Yeah. It took her...
First time.
No, it's the second time. She did it way back in chapter 22. Chapter 2.
Oh yeah, she had a bag then, didn't she?
Mm-mm. She
No?
had a goblet.
Okay. She had something.
Yeah.
Then I heard someone shooting angrily. I looked behind me. It was... Vampire. He and Draco were shooting at each other. Vampire! Draco! WTF, I asked.
You fucking bastard!
Bastard. Rhymes with mustard. Yelled Draco at Vampire.
I want to shit next to her!
No! I do! Shouted.
Oh, sorry.
Who was that?
That was, I think that was Vampire. No, I do! Sorry, no, I do!
Shouted.
No, she doesn't fucking like you, you son of a bitch!
Yelled Draco.
No, fuck you, motherfucker! She leaves me, not you.
Shouted Vampire. And then... he jumped on Draco! No, not in that way, you perv! They started to fight and beat each other up. Dumbledore yelled at them, but they didn't stop. All of a sudden, a terrible man with red eyes and no nose flew... Here we go again. No nose flew in on his broomstick. He had no nose and red eyes and was wearing a gray robe. All the glass in the window he flew through fell apart. Brittany, that fucking prep, started to cry. Vampire and Draco stopped fighting. I stopped eating. Everyone gasped. The room fell silent. Voldemort!
Bobby. Ebony.
Darth Valor!
Oh boy.
Crossover time!
Okay, Darth Vader.
We need a new voice for Darth Vader.
Ebony. Ebony. Sorry. Ebony.
Darth Vader said evilly in his raspy voice.
Thou hast failed your mission. Now I shall kill thou, and I shall kill Vampire as well. If thou dost not kill him before, then I shall kill Draco too.
Please don't make me kill him, please. I begged.
No.
He laughed crudely.
Kill him, or I shall kill him anyway.
Cackling. I bust into tears. Draco and Vampire came to contort me. Suddenly, my eyes rolled up so they looked all cool and gothic. Because it's all about aesthetic.
Yeah.
I had a vision where I saw some lightning flash, and then
some
Voldemort.
lighting.
Some lighting. Just somebody flickering the light switch. Nosferatu. I had a vision where I saw some lighting flash, and then Voldemort coming to kill Draco while Draco slit his wrists in a depressed way. Well, that could be any time.
Yeah.
No! I screamed sexily. Suddenly, I locked up and stopped having the vision.
Ebony? Ebony? Are you alright?
Asked Draco in a worried voice. Yeah, I said sadly as I got up.
Everything's alright, Ebony. Anobi.
Said Vampire, all sensitive. No, it's not! I shouted angrily. Tears of blood went down my face. Oh, MFG, what if I'm getting possessed, like in the Ring 2?
It's okay, girl.
Said Bloody Mary.
Maybe you should ask Professor Sinister about what the visions mean, though.
Okay, bitch, I said sadly.
Yep.
Okay, I can't even do that. Why do you...
Like,
Okay,
I mean, I
bitch,
regularly
I
call
said
my
sadly.
best friend a bitch.
Absolutely. And then we went.
Chapter 24. Author's Note. Preps. Preps, stop flaming the story. You're just jealous, so fuck you, okay? Go to hell. Hell. 11. Raven, fags for. Fags for D-help. Well, we had
It's a drug deal.
Well, we had deviation next, so I got to ask Professor Trevolry about the visions. Konnichiwa, everybody. Come on in, said Professor Sinister in Japanese. She smiled at me with her gothic black lipstick. She's the coolest fucking teacher ever. She had long, dead black hair with blood red tips and red eyes. Her mom was a vampire. She's also half Japanese, so she speaks it and everything. And she and Bloody Murray get along great.
Great.
She's really young for a teacher. Today she was wearing a black leather top with red lace and a long gothic black ribbed dress. We went inside the black classroom with pastors of Emily the Strong. I raised my hand. It was wearing some black nae Polish with red pentagrams on it. What is it, Ebony? She asked. Hey, I love you nail polish. Where did you get it? Hot Topic? Yeah, I answered. All the preps who didn't know what HT was gave me some weird looks. I gave them the middle finger. Well,
Isn't she nice?
yeah. Well, I have to talk to you about some things. When do you want to do it? How about now? She asked. Okay, I said. Okay, class fucking dismissed, everyone.
We just got here.
Professor Trevolry said, and she let everyone go. Except for you, Brittany. She pointed at Brittany and some other preps. Please do exercise 1 on page 3.
That's not where I thought that was gonna go.
Nope. I don't think all of the students are that upset. They get a free period now. Okay, I'm having lots of visions, I said in a worried voice.
I mean, I've had two, though.
I'm so worried. Is Draco going to die? Well, she gave me a black crystal ball to lock in. I looked at it. What do you see? She asked. I said I see a black gothic skull and a pentagram. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. I looked at it. It was Draco. He was looking really sexy.
I can see through the door.
He was wearing a black leather facet, a black gothic Lincoln Park t-shirt, and black Converse shoes.
Fancy.
Okay, you can go now. See ya, cunt, said Professor.
Again, exactly how you speak to students.
For those of you who aren't Americans, the word cunt is actually a very offensive term.
Yes.
In other countries, it's not so bad.
Places that don't speak English, maybe.
Actually, no. In England and the UK, it is pretty much cunt is just another word, like fuck or bitch. Bad, but not as bad as it is here. Anyway, okay, you can go now. See ya, cunt, said Professor Sinister. Bye, bitch, I said, waving. I went to Draco, and Vampire was sitting next to him. We both followed Draco together, and I was so exhibited.
Exhibited.
Yep.
Chapter 25.
Would you like me to read this one for the author's note?
I'll give it a try.
Okay.
But yeah, feel free to take over if I struggle too much.
Yeah.
Author's note. Stop, spelled correctly finally.
Holy shit! It's a fucking miracle.
And flaming might actually be spelled correctly.
That
I
is
can't tell
actually
anymore.
that is actually the way you spell flaming.
Author's
3
note.
words
Stop.
in a row. That's actually no 4. 4.
Four.
That's actually a record for her.
That's where Raven gave up.
Yeah.
Stop flaming, okay? If you do not, then I'll tell Justin to beat you up. To bet you up. 1, 1, 1, 1. I'll tell all the
Reds.
Reds to put Vertiz in her computer. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Fuck you. 1. Raven, thanks for the help.
Wait. You.
You. Oh. Caliborn, go away.
You know what this means. You know who wrote this. Caliborn.
No.
Caliborn, several years before he ever got introduced.
Secrets revealed.
The Homestuck
Alright.
behind the Homestuck. Anyway.
I was so excited. I followed Draco, wondering if we were going to do it again. We went outside, and then we went into Draco's black car.
Ebony?
So we went into the forest.
Yeah. Ebony. What the fuck did Professor Trevolry say?
Whispered Draco, potting his gothic wit hand with black nail polish on mine. She said she would tell me what the visions meant tomorrow.
That's not what she said. She handed you a crystal ball and asked you to look into it. And then you left.
That's what she did. No, she said bye, cunt.
No, and then we left.
Yes. Alright.
I grumbled in a sexy voice.
Yeah, I want to do that over. She said she would tell me what the visions meant tomorrow. I grumbled in a sexy voice. He took out a heroin cabaret and spiked it, and gave it to me to spork. I know nothing about drugs, so I can't really critique this sentence.
I think she means a syringe or a needle. I don't quite know where the fuck cabaret came from, because that's like a dancing thing, a cabaret. And a spork. A spork is a spoon fork. So he has handed her a dancing thing, covered it in spikes, and then gave it to her to spork. So I guess
she spiked it with alcohol, bro.
I guess she's eating it.
Nom. Because that's how you do heroin.
Yeah, you
just by the spoonful.
By the spoonful. Yum yum.
And then he started to fly the car into a tree because he's high. Because they're drinking heroin with a spoon. We went to the top of it. Draco put on some MCR.
Oh, I think he went to the top of the tree intentionally then.
He flew the car into a tree. I don't care. I don't care. The car is in the tree now.
Yeah.
Clipping like a video game error.
It's vibrating violently underneath them. Pretty soon it's going to break physics and shoot off into, wherever.
Alright, here's a song that I don't know the tune to, so
I'll just sing it.
Okay.
All the things that you never told me, and all the smiles that are ever gonna haunt me.
Sang Gerard's sexy voice. We started tiling of each other's clothes fervently. He took of my black thong and my black leather bar. I took of his black boxers. It's like sacrament all over again. Then, he put his throbbing you-know-what in my tool, sexily. Oh, MFG! Draco! I screamed, having an orgasm. Immediately. We started Frenching passively again. Suddenly, I fell asleep.
It was
It was
good.
great. It was good sex.
Yup.
I fell asleep.
Yup.
I started having a dream.
That's how
In
sleep
it,
works.
a black guy was shooting two gothic men with long black hair.
No,
Was he
please.
shooting the guys with his hair?
I guess.
Does the black guy have long hair or the gothic men have long hair?
Both. No,
Sure, all
please!
three.
Don't fucking kill us!
One. They pleaded, but he just kept shooting them. He ran away in a red car. A Flintstones car.
That's Charlie Brown.
That's not the right song.
I've forgotten what the Flintstones theme is.
No! Oh my fucking god! 11! I shouted in a scared voice.
Ebony, what's wrong?
Draco asked me as I woke up, opening my icy blue eyes.
They switch between icy blue and crimson. Just go with it.
Yes, they do. I started to cry, and tears of blood went down my face.
Oh, thank God, it's going down her face now instead of her feces.
Yes! I told Draco to call Vampire. He did it with his black Lincoln Park Mobile. But the worst thing was who the people who were shot in the dream were. Lucian and Sirius.
111.
111.
That raises further questions, but I'm going to overlook them because we are so
No,
close to...
she's being multicultural. Lucian and Sirius are now black men. Draco is also black now, I suppose.
I guess. Chapter 26. Author's notes. Preps stop flaming the story, okay? Sorry. Stop flaming the story, okay? 1. If you did not like the story, then go fuck yourself, cause you fucking prep. You suck. 111. Oh, and why... Oh, why and I wasn't being racist, okay? 11.
She tried.
Yeah. A few mutates later, Vampire came to the tree. He was wearing a black leather Jackson, black leather pants, and a good Trellote t-shirt.
It was a sexy tree.
Sex tree. Hi, Vampire, I said flirtily as I began to sob. Draco hugged me sexily, triumphant to comfort me. Comfort me. Okay. I started to cry, tears. I started to cry, tears of blood, and then told them what happened. Oh, fuck it! Vampire shouted angrily. He started to cry sadly. What fucking dick did that? I don't know, I said. Now come on, we have to tell Dumbledore. We ran out of the tree and into the castle. Dumbledore was sitting in his office. Sire, our dads have been shot. Sire, our dads have been shot, Draco said while we whipped some tears from his white face.
I do call my father sire.
No, he's calling Dumbledore sire.
Oh, even better.
And Obi had a vision in a dream.
W Dre.
W Dre.
Cockle.
W Dre, man, beats by Dr. W Dre. And how do you expect me to know Anobi's not divisional? I glared at Dumbledore. Look, motherfucker, he said angrily as... Look, motherfucker, he said angrily as Dumbledore gasped. See is the tooth of the cractor.
What? We're descending into pure illiteracy.
See is that toot of the... Oh, is that out of character?
Is that oot? Okay,
Is
I can see
that out of... character.
Yes, it is.
You know very well I'm not decisional. Now get some fucking people out there to look for Sirius and Lucian. Pornto. Okay, he said in an intimidated voice. Where are they?
That's why you're gonna...
I thought about it. Then all of a sudden, long gone, I said. I told him which street. He said...
Long gone.
Long Dawn. We went and called some people and did some stuff. After a few missed tunes, he came back and said people were going out looking for them. After a while, someone called him again. He said that they had been found. Draco, Vampire, and I all left to our rooms together. I went with Draco to wait in the nurse's office, infirmary, while Vampire went to slit his wrists in his room. We looked at each other's gothic, derperest eyes. Then we kissed. Suddenly, Sirius and Lucian came in and on stretchers, and Professor Sinister was behind them. One. Last chapter.
27.
Actually, let's do chapter 28 just to sort of round it all off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chapter 27, titled Vampires Will Never Hurt Oo. Author's note. Uno what? 111? I do not give a fuck what oo preps think about me. 1111. So stop flaming the fucking story. Bikers?
Biches.
Biches?
She's French now.
1111. Thanks to Raven for her love and support and help, and
No,
I
no,
love
not
you
support.
girls.
Not support. Read that one again.
Thanks to Raven for her love and sport and help. I was gonna praise her for spelling support right too.
Wow, you are a little bit warped on.
I'm gone. You sure we can do? I don't have to do 28.
I'm
That's
doing
you.
28. Yeah.
And help. I love you, girl. Suz. I couldn't update lol. I was really depressed and I slit my wrists. I had to go to the hospital. Raven, you rock girl. I'm not saying all those ones. Paint will say all those ones.
Yep.
Everyone in
Didn't
the
she
room.
already do this though? Slit her wrists and go to the hospital?
Yes.
You'd think that she'd be on suicide watch too.
She did.
Yeah.
And then they went on vacation.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Everyone in the room stated to cry happily. I had saved them. Draco, Lucian, Sirius Bond. Vampire all came to hug me. It's Bond.
Vampire Bond.
Sirius Bond Vampire.
Yum.
All came to hug me. The nurse started to give them medicine. Just random ass medicine.
Come on, Anobi! I really hope my mom isn't watching this one. Mom, I'm sorry. You tried your best to raise me right, and here I am doing this for a living.
The second you let her on the internet, it was over.
Yeah, the second you let me on the internet at age, 11, all hope was lost.
Okay, come on, Anobi, said Professor...
Come on, Anobi!
Said Professor Sinatra. She was wearing a gothic black leader dress. That's like lederhosen, but for women. With a corset top and real vampire blood on it. And fucking black platinum boots.
I have to tell you the fucking perdition.
I locked it, Lucian.
Perdition!
I locked it, Lucian. Serifs?
Serifs!
Drake!
Undertale's here.
And vampire. Who is Drake?
Draco.
No, it says Drake.
No, it's Draco. That's who's there. She's just misspelled it again. She's getting worse.
It's just another character.
Yep.
They nodded. I smelled happily. I went into a dark room. I had changed. Professor Sinister took out some black cards. She started to look into a black crucible ball. She said,
Tara, I see Drac times are near.
She said badly. She peered into the balls.
You see, you must go back in time.
She took out a time toner like Bloody Mary had.
When Voldemort was in Hogwarts, before he became powerful, he got his horse broken. Now, do you think he would still become Voldemort if he was in love?
So he's a nobody now. Voldemort. I shook my head.
You must go back in time, Sidoos, and seduce him. It is the only way. If he is still evil, then you must kill him. You can come to my room tomorrow, and you can do it.
Okay, I said sadly. We did death touch Sin. I went outside again, sadly,
What fucking happened?
asked Draco and Vampire,
Yeah, what happened?
asked Darkness, Willow, and Boldy Mary? Question mark?
Boldy Mary! You know, she's been there the whole time. Boldy Mary, known for her perfect timing.
I was about to tell them, but everyone was there. They were celebrating Lucian and Sirius being fond. Everyone was proud of me, but I just wanted to talk to Draco. They were cheesing my name, and some reporters were there, trying to interview Dumbledore. A banner was put up. Lots of fucking preps were there, obviously. Tring to be Gothic, wearing the HIM sign on their hands, despite them not having actually heard of him. Even Mr. Norris looked happy. A black and red cake had been brought out. Did they have that prepared beforehand?
House elves.
Absolutely. Crab and Goik set up some fireworks in the shape of skulls from Wesley's Wizard Wises. I'm gonna move on. I put on my invisibility cloak with Vampire and Draco, and we sneaked outside together. It's hers now. She stole it.
I'm just confused on why everybody's so fucking happy.
Because Lucius and Sirius were found.
I wasn't.
No, they were just fond.
I mean,
I don't know that they're alive. It hasn't actually been mentioned, as far as I've been paying attention.
no, they're alive. They're alive. They're just there for some reason. I'm going to ignore it and go to our last chapter of the day.
Sirius and Lucian came in,
I'm.
and Professor Sinister is behind them.
Yeah, they're alive. They're alive.
Okay.
Last
Doesn't
chapter.
actually say that anywhere.
Last chapter. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry. I tried.
Oh dear.
I should have stayed in school. Stay in school, kids.
Stool?
Shut up.
Stay in skull.
I'm broken. Anyway, author's note. I said stop gflipping the story. It was a miscat when Professor Relori said that, okay? Go to fucking hell. 1111. You suck. Thanks to Philly for the help. 1. Raven, have fun with Kiwi.
Who are these new people?
I don't know.
Or just have fun with a kiwi fruit.
Yeah, dance with
Fuzzy
it.
and it feels good.
It does feel, it's rather cute for a fruit.
Lick it. She licks it.
Moving on. We went into a black room. The walls were black with portrait of gothic bands like MCR, GC, and Marlon Mason all over them.
My favorite.
Marlon Mason, Nemo's dad, got really depressed before his son was born. A big black coffin was in the middle. Red velvet lined the black box. There were 3 chairs made of bones with real skulls in them. Oh, I see Gamzee Makara's been here. Or the Grand High Blood, whichever you prefer.
Both.
Both. Great interior designers, those two. I was wearing a black corset bar with purple stuff on it, fishnet suckings, and a black leather thong underneath. I sat down on one of the chairs dispersedly. So did Draco and Vampire. Are you okay? Are you okay? Vampire asked, potting his alabastered hand on mine. He was wearing black nail polish. I was wearing black nail polish with red crosses on it. Yeah, I guess. Draco also put his hand on mine sexily. I smiled sadly with my black lipstick. The problem is, I have to seduce Volsamort. I have to go back in time. Draco started to cry sadly. Vampire hugged him. It's okay, Bobby, he said finally.
Bobby.
But what about me? You're not gonna break up or anything, are you? Of course not, I gasped. Really? He asked. Sure, I said. We Frenched sexily. Vampire looked at us longingly.
Aw, he wants in.
Yeah. Then I took off Draco's MCR shrift and seductively took off his pants.
In
He
front
was
of
hung-
Vampire.
He was hung like a Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone.
Yes. He had replaced the vampire tattoo that said Abnobi on it. Black roses were around it. I gasped. He looked exactly...
When did he have time to do that?
I don't know, when he was captured by Volsamort. He looked exactly like Gerard Way. A vampire took a video camera. I had said it was okay before. I took off my clothes. Then we were for the rid of our life.
We were in for the rid of our life.
We started Frenching
her E button stopped working there.
Yeah. We started Frenching as we climbed into the coffin. He put his Spock in my you-know-what, and passively, we did it. I love you, Bobby. Oh,
Passively.
let me feel you. I need to feel you. Oh, sorry, that's him. I love you, Bobby. Oh, let me feel you. I need to feel you, he screamed as we got an orgasm. Yay! She spelled it right! She spelled it right for the first time in 24 chapters.
I was kind of
28
expecting him to
chapters.
write organism at some point.
And the first time in 28 chapters she spelled that word right. Yeah! We watched Vampire filmed everything perfectly.
15
Suddenly...
seconds of our sex tape.
What the fuck are you doing? It was...
You cut out really badly there.
No, I hissed, actually, through the F sound. It was Snope and Professor McGoggle. 111.
A new character.
No, it was
Snope has appeared.
Snope, here to debunk everything.
Finally, a hero appears.
Oh, thank God. We tried, everybody, but at 2 hours, 32 minutes, and about 30 seconds, I think that we should be stopping for today.
Absolutely.
Yeah. In the next episode, though, we will be...
If you even made it this far.
If you made it this far, then props to you. If you didn't, oh my God, I'm so sorry. This is as long as a feature-length movie.
Oh, Jesus.
Nobody's gonna watch this beyond 15 minutes.
I don't blame them.
Anyway, thank you for watching if you have. My name is Paint.
My name is Ink. And if you liked this video, please like, share, comment, or maybe subscribe.
And I hope that you've had a good day. The rest of your day is even better. I am so sorry, Mom. But we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
I hope. Goodbye.
Goodbye.